Weep.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
hmm So let's see. Let's look at this chart behind me. Actually, do you want to
hmm
start today?
Sure.
I,
Sure.
I I'll just yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So, it's all the same to me. Let's see here. Gas is down. We were up at like 505 yesterday, 506 for the high, and now we're at like 462, 466 range, and we'll see how things hold up. We'll see if the cold weather that we got that we're rolling into right now this week. It's like the coldest weather for the season. We'll see if that's gonna be just a short spike or if it's gonna be sustained. See what kind of develops on the backside of it. Um, so if we can get more cold weather in, then maybe that'll keep prices elevated. But frankly, I think prices are pretty high given the fundamentals, given where inventories are at right now here in the United States, and I have a strong suspicion that prices will be lower between now and April.
I think that's a good suspicion. I mean, it's likely. I also agree with that.
Yeah, like right now we're kind of bouncing off the close from not yesterday, but the day before, quote unquote, air quotes, Friday's close. There's like a gapped up, and oh, we kind of went below that now. Oh no, we're going back up. But yeah, you can play by play the movement of candles all day, I guess. But that's kind of the general vicinity where we're at. Just kind of bouncing off where the close was there on Friday.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. hmm
Um, yeah, to backtrack even more, the reason that we're at such high prices is a short squeeze, two short squeeze, I think, consecutive, having to deal with different contracts. At the end of February, there was one due to low liquidity, and then one at the beginning of the March contract due to cold weather. And so we're just kind of up there, and people are really, really willing to buy the dip here at $6 or not six, $4.70 about, really keeping prices elevated. And yeah, just kind of like
hmm
yeah, I mean prices are just hanging out up here. If you look historically, March, I think the last time March was the March contract was over $4 was in 2014, and the fundamentals then were a lot different than now, like a lot different.
Yeah. It's
So
like a freezing
yeah,
cold winter.
yeah, yep. Let's see weather overnight. Like the weather forecast, they warmed up a tiny bit. Out in the out in the future, we were just talking about that,
hmm
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, for people watching, yeah, when I say like, oh yeah, between now and April, price, gonna be lower than it is now. I'm not a day trader, I'm a swing trader, so I set up trades based off like a future price point, like weeks or months into the future. So that's something to keep in consideration. Not like, oh, 5 minutes from now the price is gonna do this. I don't have that magical crystal ball. If I did, I would not be here. Because you have infinite money. Infinite money to be made in the market.
Oh man, yeah, a crystal ball would be great.
Yeah, every 5 minutes you knew where the price was gonna go, you had like 3 bar play or something, and then you just like just toot, 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 toot. Put in 100% of your account in every time because you know
Oh
where it's gonna
God.
because you know where it's gonna go, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I would do it. If I knew where it was gonna where it were gonna go, I would definitely be 100% in every time. There's no reason not to if you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's why so many day traders lose so much money is they know every time, and they put in 100% of their count in every time, and they're wrong about every time.
Oh, snap. So yeah, I'm super interested to see what the pricing does for today if it moves below uh like if we get below where it closed on Friday and and then we end the day below that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
For some reason, I really doubt it. Like just make it
Mhm.
I guess a intraday price prediction. I think we'll end above 470. I think we might continue to go up from here. Actually,
Mhm.
sounds crazy, I know, but like I
No,
told
I'm
you
with
last
you.
night, man. I just don't know anymore. How do you
Uh
how do you
I
think
mean, I
about
think
this stuff?
I,
Go
I
ahead.
think you're like on it. Any kind of like semblance of cold coming around. I mean, we're still in the coldest time frame. This is the coldest weather system that we've had all winter, like all withdrawal season.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there can be expectations of, oh well, this is the coldest it's been. So
Should be
it
the
is the
highest
big question
prices.
of, yeah, highest prices. Like have the you know how long are freeze offs going to last? Are there going to be freeze offs? How many are there going to be?
Hmm.
Is there going to be cold weather that's going to come in behind this cold weather? Is that going to continue create a continuation of freeze offs? It's just one of those things where just time can tell. And right now, people who need gas don't want to be on the wrong side of, be on the wrong side of the trade.
Right, the devil you do know is better than the one you don't. So like buying at 470 is better than buying at 570 or 670, which sounds let's see. That sounds ridiculous, but I'm not just saying that to be ridiculous. Like there are some things coming up that could drive the prices that high. We don't know, but I'm just saying like buying now could be better than buying, waiting a few weeks. So yeah, I
Hmm.
totally agree.
Oh yeah. See here, yesterday was the United Nations Security Council meeting. Nothing was accomplished there except some grandstanding.
Mhm.
I did notice that because every month there's a new country that's the head of the Security Council for the United Nations. That was the last month for, I believe it was Norway. That was part of it. And then this month is Russia is the head of the council. So the irony of that is like I don't think lost on anyone who's familiar with the situation.
Wait, are you serious? It's a new
Oh
head
yeah.
every
Yep.
month.
I swear on the powers of the methane. Yes.
What are there like 150 countries in this thing, and they got to like cycle people through, or
Oh,
what?
no. Oh, whoa. You're thinking of stuff like equality. How dare you?
Oh,
So there's only a few countries of the entire United Nations that actually get to be on the Security Council. Only a select chosen few. And then of those few, only a few have veto powers. One of which is Russia, of course. So
so, so
how
I'm
dare
I'm guessing that the select few are the people with military, like
yeah,
with
big militaries and nukes.
and nukes. Oh yeah, I forgot about those nukes. Wow. So for so for the
As you
next
know,
month, huh? What?
no, keep going. I'm
So
sorry, I'm
yeah,
just
so
laughing.
for the next month, like the UN is gonna take no action against Russia. Well, I mean, I wonder if they timed that. Like, I'm not sure. Like, if man, that's some good timing. If that was time, or if it was
No, it's
planned.
just a coincidence. It's just a
Yeah, yeah.
coincidence. Don't let things like that bother you.
That's funny though.
Uh,
Wow.
that literally brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, I started reading into that, and I stopped because like, man, they are just get like the every single like imaginable news outlet is just having a field day with this because every single article that they post, like 75% of the article is just rehashed material from like the very beginning of like this happening, basically, the build up to now, and I just get tired of reading the same like um I don't know, like 200 words. Like the same 200 to 500 words are in every single article, and I just get tired of reading them. So I read about half of an article about the UN thing yesterday, and then I stopped because it was quite obviously a waste of time that early on in the article. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
No, I'm with you.
yeah, that's interesting though about the Security Council thing.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah, grandstanding. Also, I get tired of reading about that.
Oh yeah.
If nothing happened, nothing happened. Don't try to
Hmm.
don't try to
Yeah,
get me to
nothing
read
happened.
1,000 words. Yeah, cool. So there's that. Um, I mean, yeah, even the bullish news outlets, it's like regarding price action. Even the bullish news outlets that we read are getting a little bit bearish. One of them
Hmm.
was questioning how long it would take for the short squeeze to like unwind. You know, basically just for the price to come down. Yeah, we have some cold weather coming up, but it doesn't. The cold weather alone doesn't justify the prices right now. And I think it's the writing's kind of like on the wall, and it's obvious enough to a lot of people that we're just kind of waiting for that to happen.
Oh yeah, and when he says bulls, like he means people who are just perma bulls. Like no price is too high. You know, the price could be like $10, and it's like, oh, buy. You know, it could be like $10 in September or something. They're always like almost always on the buy. And now there are people who are of that mindset who are like, well, don't really think we can keep these prices this high. So that's very interesting to see because there are times when I'm bullish and there are times when I'm bearish. I think this is not the S&P 500. So if you're going to be like perma bear or a perma bull, you're just going to like lose money in this.
Yeah, there's let's see, there are two different ways to trade this. You can trade futures, in which case there is no buy and hold, because it's futures contracts. The contracts expire, so like there are contracts for every month going out. Like I don't know, I don't even know what it is, like 2 years or something, 5 years. I'm not sure, but I mean. That being the case, like you can't be a buy and hold investor in this because the contracts will expire eventually if you're trading the futures, and your broker might roll it over for you. Anyway, it's not that kind of thing. Don't even think about it. And then the other way to trade it would be like a retail instrument, and the one that we're trading is leveraged. And so, look up a little thing called time decay. That'll kind of give you an idea of why that's not a buy and hold thing either. So, yeah, it's not the S&P 500. I guess is all I'm adding on to. Like with the perma bull
Hmm.
mentality won't make money here
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
fight inflation.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're not just saying that, I'd like to say it. There are people who are of that mindset and they post their returns and like their 5-year return is like what we get in like a week or a month. It's yeah, like they have like returns where you might as well just put your money in like a certificate of deposit.
Yeah, like a 5 year CD, your entire account 5 year CD. If you don't know what that is, it's like you go to like a credit union and then you give them your money and they give you a certificate of deposit, like saying like, hey, you deposited this much money on this date. Here are the terms of our agreement. So like the agreement usually stipulates a certain period of time where you don't get any return on your money and the bank has like free reign on it. And so they lend it out. They make money off of your money for a long time, and then they start giving you returns on your money as long as you don't withdraw it.
It's such a scam.
Yeah, yeah. And so like
It sounds like exactly what you just described.
yeah. And I mean, I had those like growing up, because it's really safe, and you kind of like get a taste of returns and like patience, and just like not letting the money burn a hole in your pocket. But like, I think I withdrew them because I kind of like saw everything for what it was. I withdrew them. I mean, when I was like 14 or 15, got mutual funds. So anyway, it's not a. I don't think it's a good investment. It's not an investment actually, right? It's just
Yeah, you're not beating inflation, so definitely not an
yeah.
investment.
There's no growth, and I don't know how long you'd have to leave it in there without seeing any returns in order to get a return that would beat inflation.
You never get one.
I agree, yeah, because like then you'd have to make up all the time
That you'd lost.
that you'd lost, yeah, like for not seeing anything. Price action made its VWAP.
Oh yeah.
Kind of hit the brakes there, and that's to be expected, though. I mean, I still think it'll come up. Maybe not like the end of the day as like a daily green candle, but I think we'll end it over 470, which I think is that safe to say that was the close on Friday?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, I know some people they try to like laser beam everything. I'm not a laser beam person. I'm a horseshoes and hand grenades person.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Like people would be like, "Oh, wait till don't buy until it like hits this price," and so then they'll like sit it there, and then the price gets within a penny of that, and then reverses and leaves them on behind, and
Yeah.
then like never actually gets that price, and they're like, "Oh, well, maybe next year."
Yeah, dang. Missed my
Yeah, because they
opportunity
tried
again.
right. 'Cause they tried to use a lightsaber to carve carve lines on their chart, and that person on Goldman Sachs like put their line on their chart slightly different, and so that's the chart that matters.
the people who are making the price move. Violent price swings expected ahead of Texas freeze.
Yeah, it's like saying water's wet. For people who don't know, natural gas is super volatile. It's like the most volatile commodity out there. And that for people who don't know what volatile means, it just means the price moves a lot, up and down, moves a lot, and that's why you can make money, like quite a bit of money in natural gas. You can also lose a lot of money in natural gas. Um, if you're not like, putting together a comprehensive trading plan. So when someone like writes an article and they say stuff like that, ooh, violent price swings every week, almost every week is violent price. In fact, when there's not violent price swings, it's like, dude, what the hell is going on? Which is what we saw in December because it was so warm and like tepid, and the price just bounced within this narrow range for 5, 6 weeks. That was literally we were just like, dude, what the hell's going on? This never happens in gas. This is like trading like oil. It was silly.
Yeah, yeah. There are like usually about like I don't know like two periods, kind of like two month long periods about like in the year where it's not violent price swings.
Hmm.
So yeah, water's wet. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. But yeah,
Yep.
it's
Awesome.
it's a nice quote that'll get some clicks.
Exactly. Yeah, and then so like they're saying water is wet uh ahead of the Texas freeze, and so what they're talking about there is Texas is let's see, it's supposed to be seeing some cold weather. Let's um South Central. Yeah, I mean the South Central region, which includes Texas. I'm not sure, like if the basins there, like where all of the natural gas infrastructure is, will be like specifically we'll be seeing this cold weather, but it's kind of like a generalized look. They are going to be seeing like as cold of weather in the south central region as the population weighted average heating degree days. So, long story short, too late for that, but they'll be seeing weather that is cold enough to freeze off. Um,
Mm.
Now it's just like this. This will be a test, right, of the infrastructure upgrades that were mandated from last year's Winter Storm Uri. This will be a good test to kind of like, I guess, gauge future expectations, future winter freeze off expectations in Texas.
Yeah.
Assuming, of course, like because for them, the reason that their infrastructure wasn't really in place or like wasn't very strong was because this like never happens, and now it'll be 2 years in a row where they're
Mhm.
getting sufficient weather to freeze off. From what I've read, like I was talking about those the weather forecasts and the information that I have for the population weighted heating degree days, um, it's not specific to like the basically the oil fields. Um, but the stuff that I've read indicates that the weather seen at the oil fields is not as it is not expected to be as cold as last year, which makes sense, right? Like the charts, the weather charts that we have, their population weighted in like I don't know if you've ever been out to like an oil field or seen pictures or anything, but it's like there's
Now where the
no one living
population is.
there. Yeah, it's very sparsely populated to be generous.
Yeah, exactly. The weather models we look at where the population centers are, and then weight them based on what percentage of those populations use natural gas for energy, heating, like to run their furnaces, all that jazz. So that's how you can get a more accurate number, like on how the temperature being a certain degree for a specific amount of time, how that will affect natural gas prices.
Yeah, it might be kind of hard to imagine for some people, but I mean, I'll just say it like not all households use natural gas for heating, or like they don't all have like the standard gas furnace and to heat their home. Some people use firewood, some people use propane, some people use heating oil.
Yep. Coal. They have baseboard heaters that are electric,
Mm-hmm.
and they get their electricity from coal or wind turbines or whatever. There's all the different energy sources that are out there that they get electricity from, and then they just run electricity. I always thought about of baseboard heaters as being like glorified space heaters. They're just like permanently fixed in your house.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yeah, they're just permanent space heaters.
Hmm.
They're trying to get over VWAP.
Excuse me.
So looking at this chart behind me, this is a 1 minute chart, but
Hmm.
looking at this, I would expect it to break up or break over VWAP like any minute here. Just like
Hmm.
this was kind of like I probably as far as day trading, like again, I'm not a day trader because I'm not good at it, and so take what I say with a grain of salt, please. But this is kind of like a reversal right here off 464. It tested this again, like the bull was saying. This is we're not trying to laser beam anything here. So in my mind, it tested this area between like 462, 466, tested it 3 times, and then it made a newer high right here. So you can see this um, lower highs until here, and it looks like they were trying to sell off to make another or sell a little bit, make another lower high, but this is the reversal. It's a new higher high, I guess.
Hmm.
After it bounces here, test that area a third time, comes pretty strongly straight up to VWAP, which is a pretty strong day trading indicator, a technical indicator, especially in natural gas. We've noticed.
Hmm. Yep.
And yeah, so then we have, if you look at these lows on these candles, I mean they're higher, and so now it's just kind of testing here. If it doesn't go over this, I mean, I don't know, it'd probably come back down and test this area again, 462 to 466. But again, I'm not a day trader. That's just my at a glance on the 1 minute chart analysis. And I've got these indicators, MACD and RSI, but I don't really day trade. I don't use them very often. Sure do look cool though.
I agree with everything you said. Yeah, I think trying to get the price above VWAP, people who day trade, people who want to like set like daily trends for the price. That's what I think is going on right now. Also, just from like you said, take it with a grain of salt, just from experience. And that if that doesn't happen, then yeah, it'll go back down to retest the lower range. 'Cause, yeah, it's all about like testing uh, support and resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what will happen, like what can be looked at on a daily chart can also be looked at on like a 1 minute chart or a 2 minute, whatever someone wants to use for their day trading.
And then also volume. I think that's like a forgotten indicator, maybe.
Mm.
Sometimes I don't know, but look at the volume here. Like you can kind of see like this group of higher volume, and then here higher volume, and this whole area kind of like higher volume. And so these two little, I guess, volume spikes or whatever, like these, because it's just 1 minute candles, so you kind of have to group a lot of it together to get an idea of like, okay, it's like where was the price during this volume? And so this is definitely on volume test, and this whole area right here is volume. So kind of choppy here, testing again and then back up. But now volume's kind of died off. You might be waiting for like this candle here, like to be at VWAP before someone like pulls the trigger on throwing a trade in, trying to get it a strong green candle, right, to like pop up, spur on some other buying. But
Yeah. So like this calm before the storm of market open.
oh yeah, right. We have less than a minute, right?
Yep. Yeah, market's about to open.
About 30 seconds.
That's one of the many great things about swing trading. It's not having to try to pay attention to those things like every minute. There's a pretty specific time, like window, that people like to day trade. I know I like to day trade pre-market back when I used to do it. Other people like to day trade like right after market opens.
We used to get up at like well 2.5 hours before market open.
Yeah, super early. I'm not a fan of doing that. Even though I don't sleep a lot, I still don't like to get up out of bed earlier than I have to.
Yeah, I can completely agree. I don't know anybody who does. Personally, I know there are some people who do.
Meth heads. But they're half the time they're classy ones, so they do amphetamine salts instead of meth. There were invisible air quotes when I said classy, by the way.
Yeah, gotcha. They're a cut above the rest.
Yeah, I'm rolling my eyes right now for those who can't see it. So yeah, I mean, since the UN meeting happened, just for like the geopolitical stuff that can affect gas prices that are like big out in the news. Uh, they said there's supposed to be another meeting later this week. I can't remember off the top of my head what like venue it's supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the Bellagio or the Ritz Carlton. I'm not sure. Wherever that's some Swiss banker probably hangs out. and they'll like have another meeting to spend like truckloads worth of like taxpayers' money to not accomplish anything.
Yeah, they have to
Probably.
use up those points. Like
Yeah, it's
it's a,
true.
it's a use it or lose it system. I think.
Right.
Like
So
the
yeah, they got to use
hotels.
all the rewards points.
Exactly.
Yeah, from like their Diners Club card. So yeah, that's supposed to happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Olympics start on Friday, the Winter Olympics.
That's cool. It's
Yeah.
good for a
People
lot of
are
people.
yeah. Some people are, speculating that Russia won't attack during the Olympics. I'm of the mind that if Russia is going to attack, it will be during the Olympics because it's like a quote unquote surprise.
Just because, yeah, more people are expecting that they won't than are expecting that they will.
Yeah.
Um, see, European prices are down a little bit, but I mean, there's like, they're in the range.
Yeah.
They're in the range, and it's just hanging out there. It's probably this is kind of like the average. The baseline is in this range, and it probably just swings here based on normal weather fluctuations. I'm just guessing because I've stopped paying attention to it for the most part. Just I mean like we were talking about yesterday, and I showed on the chart like there was a decoupling from like of Henry Hub prices are different from TTF prices, and they decoupled,
Hmm.
and ever since then there's not really been a strong correlation between the two.
Yeah. Europe does not get most of their gas from the United States. The vast majority of United States exports are not contracted to go to Europe. When Europe buys LNG, liquid natural gas, that originated from the United States. They bought it from a third party because those cargoes are on long-term contract. Uh, like for example, Germany is the largest consumer of natural gas in Europe, and they don't even have liquid natural gas terminals to like receive cargoes of liquid natural gas. Like they get it through pipelines. They're proposing to build some, which will take like 5 to 10 years. So that's not something to really worry about for this trading season. But that's like how I don't know. That's just to kind of give an idea of how disconnected American like fundamentals that go on in Europe, for the most part, do not have direct effect on prices in the United States. Sentiment in Europe will affect prices in the United States, and that'll affect sentiment because it's a lot less tangible. And so that's something to definitely pay attention to. I think. I think that's like one of the three key drivers in price action, being sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals. I think those are like the three things to really kind of get a grasp on for people who want to trade natural gas.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to, I guess, like recap, those are all the reasons why we don't pay attention to uh, why European prices are moving the way they are. Like, I don't look at weather for Europe. I don't pay attention to like the minor like gas flows from Russia to like the over like pipelines and stuff from Russia to Germany. Stopped paying attention to those a long time ago. But
It turns into interesting factoids.
yeah, yeah,
Like, oh yeah, that's neat.
yeah,
Like the
exactly.
fact, yeah, yeah, like the fact that Germany is looking to build LNG terminals for the first time. Like, all right, cool, that's neat. But the reality is that takes so long, and even in like swing trading, the scope of time that we're looking at is so narrow for like price action. That's not stuff like that is like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but has zero effect on like what we're gonna do like this trading season.
Yeah, it's like yeah, exactly. It's like you said, like interesting factoids. In um, this kind of like goes back to what we've said a lot. Like if you're gonna be trading natural gas, like make sure you do your own research, because Yeah, for a lot of reasons, but just make sure you do your own research. But this is part of it, is like just reading everything, and then so even though knowing that Germany has no regasification capability, but like they're planning on building it, just knowing that, and you just kind of like put it in your back pocket, and there will be something else that we read in, I don't know, 6 months from now or something, and then like it'll spark the remembrance of that fact about Germany, and then we can look that up and like do correlations and stuff. But um, yeah, so like it doesn't have immediate value, to like know these things, these interesting factoids, but it's good to know about them. It's good to know
Hmm.
stuff, right? That's how you can think for yourself.
Yep, I totally agree. Mhm.
The volume kind of like looking at 1 minute candles again. Volume kind of picked up, I guess, like on the selling, but it's no surprise. I mean, like if you look at the size of the candles, it takes more volume to move the price more.
Right. Yeah, it's one thing when prices are moving a lot on low volume, then the price movement is kind of generally just kind of like meh, not seen as like significant, like a significant effect on the market. So kind of to wait to see, oh, what is price going to do when volume picks up and there's liquidity, kind of like what happened with because a situation that causes a drastic change in price on low volume will oftentimes will not cause like anything to happen when there's liquidity in the market.
Usually, yeah.
Mhm. So you don't hold on to your shorts till 1 hour before contract ends.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I still just can't believe someone would do that. Like, oh my goodness, man.
Here, I'm gonna pull up this. Here's what we're talking about. Oh, yeah, NGG 22. This is the February contract of this year. This is what
Mhm.
this is what the bull's talking about. Is waiting for 1 hour. This is the shoot.
The mother of all squeezes,
Yeah, it
as,
set some
as
record.
someone call it. Yeah, as someone call it, the mother of all squeezes.
Yeah, yeah, it set some record. Like the biggest move on the final day of a contract, something like that, like in
Yeah.
recorded history of natural gas. But this is what happened. Somebody was holding on to their short position until like literally the last hour of trading for that contract. And I mean, as you can see, volume right here. This is a daily chart, so you can see volume is like this is normal. This is normal. It's like to be expected. Every contract does this. As the contract nears the expiration, daily volume it just tapers off until it's nothing, because most people
Yeah, it's
in
expiring. Yeah.
yeah, it's expiring. You can't trade it anymore. Eh, and yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Whoever was on the right side of that trade made a bunch of money.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was so unprecedented. Yeah, there's like circuit breakers that switch, like will trigger automatically if certain like conditions are met. Like basic craziness like total insanity is going on, and like what I read is that though in that short time time span, those circuit breakers were triggered multiple times on the contract because the computer was just like, dude, there's something wrong. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, this is so wrong. Like, are we being hacked right now? It's like, oh no, just there's some idiot who's in charge of a ton of money. That's what went wrong. Oh, okay. It's worse than a computer virus. He gave an imbecile like 14 truckloads of money.
It to give an idea, like a frame of reference, in case you don't like know about the circuit breaker stuff, is that firstly that's really what it's called. Like in I think every exchange has to have them by SEC
Mhm.
regulation. And so the last time that I'm aware of that or that I heard about circuit breakers was in 2020, when COVID lockdowns were like really having, I mean, a huge effect on the market, and everyone was panicking.
Yeah.
As yeah, so I mean, that to give you an idea of the scale, like that's what has to happen for trigger circuit breakers usually, not just unbridled idiocy.
Totally, like, and that's like not even like an exaggeration of the term. Like, yeah, that's not hyperbole.
No, no, it's that's
Like, gee, what? Like, even when I was like brand new at this, I never would have thought that was a good idea.
yeah. When, yeah, well, after like doing some research and understanding how it works, it's like, oh, okay, just note to self, like, don't hold until there's no liquidity.
Right?
Yeah, even being a retail trader, I knew that when I was in a position. Excuse me, I was in a position when in DGAS when I read that it was being delisted and I cashed out immediately. Literally, I cashed out immediately.
Yep. Because as soon as that happens, liquidity is just gonna go.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait to
You're the
be.
person holding the bag. You don't want to wait till you're
Yeah,
the only person in the room.
yeah, no.
Man, these bags are really heavy. My shoulders are getting
Yeah.
sore.
Is there any place to sit down or something?
Nope. When everybody ran out of the room, they took the chairs with them.
Yeah.
You got nothing but a mountain of hot potatoes. Uh, so on that note, don't get caught holding the hot potato. Feel good?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm surprised price action isn't like. I mean, I thought that little push right there is going to push over VWAP. So who knows what's going to
Uh huh.
happen? That's why we don't day trade. But yeah, I feel good.
Yeah. Everybody have a great day.